Hey everyone, welcome back to Unbiased Magic Reviews. I hope you're having a good week. You guys have asked me and I've listened, so I'm going to review for you today my top 5 business card peaks. Now these are my own preference after years of experimenting and road testing countless types of business card peaks. These top 5 are not in any order of importance. I use them all interchangeably depending on the situation. The one thing I will tell you is that I'm not including probably my very favorite business card peak because it's one that I personally invented myself because I wanted one that fulfilled my own criteria for a business card peak. I wanted something that looked squeaky clean, did not use any gimmicks, totally examinable, and something that the spectator would never ever suspect or detect that maybe I could have seen their card. Something I've whittled down over the years, and I may actually give that away in an upcoming contest here on my channel, although I need to think about that before I commit to it. So anyway, I'm going to go over now my top 5 I'll say commercial business card peaks. These are ones that I just keep going back to again and again. And so before I even tell you that, I will let you guys know that I have not included anything that uses any extra items. So any business card peaks that use an envelope or use a wallet or a coin or anything else, I'm just not including in here. These are just pure business card peaks. And I'm going to give you guys first some notable mentions before I tell you my list of top 5. So some notable mentions are some business card peaks that I've used over the years, and for whatever reason, I just simply don't use them anymore. And those are as follows. Emran Riaz's Godspeed. It's a very slick sleight of hand peak, very bold. You can find that on his Penguin Live lecture or his book Steins Gate. I used to use it, I just simply don't use it anymore. Louis Laval's The Art of Knowing is a peak system that you can use for multiple spectators, or you could do it one-on-one. Again, don't really use it anymore, although again, some people, they may actually like that. Luch put out Hollow, a highly gimmicked peak system, which is based on principles that are not his. I don't use that, but I have in the past, and some people may actually like that if you're looking for that kind of highly gimmicked system. Jay Prager put out Evil Twin, a very simple peak system that I thought was pretty good. I used to use it, don't really use it anymore. Somebody else also even mentioned here Arthur's Underlooked, which I've experimented with. But I think it's kind of angly, and I think that you have to get the peak really quick, and so I don't really use it, although some people may like that. So I mention it here as a notable mention. Jerome Finley also put out his Subliminal peak, which is extremely bold. I don't use it. You may like it. You may want to take a look at that. So now I'm going to give you guys my list of top 5, and these list is not in any order like I told you of importance. I'm just going to go in order of impromptu to gimmicked. That's what I'm going to go in that kind of order if I can. So first up is going to be Danny Archer's Drawn Again. So you can get this for $10 from Penguin Magic, and I would actually recommend you just pick up his Penguin Live lecture if you're interested in it. This is a totally impromptu business card peak, and if you're not familiar with what it looks like, basically the spectator makes a drawing, they return it to the pack, and then here you're going to give it a couple of cuts. You're going to mention to the spectator that it's not on the top. You're going to show them it's not on the bottom, and then you're going to basically do a duplication. So it does rely on very basic sleight of hand, and it's very easy to perform, and it works very well. I've used it countless times, always gets good reactions. Definitely one of my top 5. I would highly recommend it to you guys. And so I can't say enough good things about it, really, in terms of just a very simple, pure sleight of hand method. Definitely worth it. It's very innocent looking, so definitely part of my top 5. Now, number 2 on the list is Underhanded by Atlas Brookings and Joshua Fletcher. So you can pick up their book for $50 from Penguin Magic. I think you can probably pick it up from other places too, but I know it's sold there because that's where I got it. And it's a little bit pricey, and what you're going to get is you're going to get another sleight of hand method. And if you're curious about what it looks like, I'm going to tell you guys. The spectator makes a drawing on their card, and then they put it on the table, and what you do is you put the rest of the cards on top, and then as a second thought, what you do is you slide it out and you give it to them in their hand, and you say, look, let's put the card in the middle. They put it in the middle, and you get your peak in that action. And then you do a drawing duplication. So it's a very simple peak, but very effective. It really just blows right by people. They don't really even realize that you've actually gotten their information. It's very bold because you're putting the card in their hand. So that is a very bold type of peak. I think it's great. I've used it countless times. I've had good reactions with it. So that's why I put it here on my top 5 list. Definitely a peak I would use at any time. So number 3 on my list of business card peaks is Pocket Square by Ben Blau. And you can find this in his book, Asymptotes. Right now, I think it's going for $80 from your favorite magic dealer. And the actual peak is actually Patrick Cuff's peak called Bold Business. But what I like is I like how Ben Blau has taken this to a whole nother level. And so what he's done here to make this really interesting is that he's added the magic square element to it. So I'm going to show you guys how I use this as a peak. What you do is you take out your business card and you draw a line in the middle, and you have the spectator think of a 2-digit number, and they're gonna write the 2-digit number, whatever it is. We'll just say it's 30 for argument's sake. And then you tell them also to draw some kind of drawing they could draw within 10 seconds on the top of the card. So let's just say, for instance, that they drew a star, right? Just for instance here. And then what happens is that when you take back the card, you're going to take it back and you're going to just cut it into the middle of the pack. So you say, look, we're just going to cut this into the middle of the pack. You immediately turn the pack over, and this is the best part about this peak, is that you immediately go into drawing a magic square. So you start drawing your magic square right in front of them, right? Now remember, their card is lost in the middle of the pack somewhere. So you start drawing your magic square here on the back of your business card, and you start filling in numbers. So you start filling in numbers here in the back of the business card. So in that moment, of course, the interesting part is you're already filling it in. So there's no question you already somehow know the information. So you take the card, you put it down, and you put the rest of them in your pocket, and you finish your magic square. Now, here's the best part, is when you're done with the magic square, you make it seem like, oh, well, what was the, do these numbers look anything like what the 2-digit number you're thinking of? They're going to think you messed up. And then you hand it to them and you let them add it up, and they're going to find that this is going to add up, it's a magic square, so it's going to add up to their 2-digit number. So that's the first big kicker. Now, the second big impact afterwards is that now you know the drawing that they did, and you can reveal it any way you want. If you want, you could just be like, think about your drawing, and you could just like do that. Or if you want, you could also do the drawing as well. Now, what I really like is here at the end, you could just take out the cards out of your pocket, hand them to the spectator, and let them go through to find their card in the middle. They're gonna find their card in the middle because of the way that Ben Blau goes over the cleanup. The cleanup is great. So they're gonna find their card in the middle of your stack of business cards. They are not gonna have any clue how that's possible. In their mind, they're gonna be like, well, my card is in the middle of their business cards. How did they ever see it? So they're not gonna be able to figure it out, no matter how much they backtrack. The method is very pure. The best part about it is because of the misdirection of the magic square, you get your peak when they least expect it. They totally least expect it, and it seems like you already know the information, which is what I really like a lot. So this is definitely one of my top 5 peaks. I highly recommend it to you guys. Definitely, along with all of these other peaks, I just can't recommend it enough. I use it constantly. It's definitely a big favorite of mine. Gets massive reactions. Just the magic square part gets huge reactions. And in case you're wondering, it's very, very simple magic square. So it's actually based on a Carl Fulves idea of magic square. So it's really, really easy. There's like literally no memorization work involved. I know people are scared of magic squares and whatnot. So just to let you know that there really is none of that. So number 4 on the list is Scott Creasy's Secretly Peaked Information Technique, which you could pick up for $16 from Penguin Magic. And there you're going to learn 3 different methods of his to do this type of business card peak. And this is really clean. This business card peak, it looks just like this. You take 3 business cards and you give one to your spectator and you have them make a drawing on it. And then when they give it back to you, you put it in between your 2. And what you do is this: you turn the top one face down and the bottom one face down, and you show the spectator literally that their card is isolated in the middle of the other two. So you're going to show them, look, like yours is in between those two, and then you're going to hand them to them to put them between their hands. And that's when you get your peak. In that moment, you get your peak. And the best part is, after you reveal the information any way you want, of course, when you get back the cards, you could show them again. You could say, look, your card is literally isolated in between these. And then in that moment, you can immediately just hand it out to them with their drawing on it. So it's a squeaky clean peak, and I really like it a lot. Some people may not like it only because there's some handling. So it kind of looks like card handling a little bit, with that idea of, you know, turning the top and bottom card face down, and then, you know, all of the displays and stuff. I will tell you guys that Scott Creasy did publish another version of this technique in his book, Minimalistic Metaphysical Mentalism, and he called it LED, or PB. And in that version, he actually drew PB on the front of the cards. He used double blank cards. And it had a couple of other little convincers in it, but there was something I really didn't like about it, which is it really looked like a lot of card handling. It looked more like a card trick than a mentalism type effect. So I don't really like that version of it. I would actually recommend this version over that version. This version, Secretly Peaked Information Technique, or SPIT for short. If you search for it on Penguin Magic, you can just search for SPIT, you'll find it. Definitely one of my top 5 business card peaks. Use it all the time. It's great. Can't recommend it enough, just like all these other ones. So for my last favorite business card peak that I'm going to recommend to you guys, number 5 is from Mark Chandow, and you can find it in his book Harp a Crown. He has a chapter there called Pictures, and he goes over a highly gimmicked business card peak that looks absolutely squeaky clean to the spectators. In fact, I keep mine just like this, ready to go. I use the Parapen from Pro Mystic, although I don't think you can buy this anymore. So I think that you're gonna have to go with Cipher. So if you know what Cipher is, then you know the method. What Mark Chandow is giving you is he's giving you a couple of nice routines of how to implement the method, really. The structure of how to present it is what he's really giving you in his book. Now, the Parapen, it looks like a regular ballpoint pen, but it does the same thing that you would expect from Cipher and the Sharpie marker. So this does it. And so I don't think they sell this anymore on Pro Mystic, so I think that you're gonna have to go with Cipher. But in case you guys are wondering what this type of business card peak looks like, I'm gonna explain it to you. It's very simple. You give your spectators your little stack of business cards, and you ask them to think of something they can draw, or a name or something. They're gonna write it down on the card, and then they're gonna put the card in their pocket. They give you back your stack, and all you do is you explain to them that they made a drawing or whatnot, and then you put them in your pocket. You've already got your peak. They never would suspect that you possibly could have peaked anything, because the card that they made their drawing on goes into their pocket. So it just doesn't seem likely that you somehow could know what they drew or what they wrote, but you did. And so in that way, it's extremely clean. The one thing, of course, is they can't examine your stack of business cards, but who cares? Because the stack of business cards doesn't stay out very long. You immediately put it away. And I personally like it with the Parapen, but like I said, I don't think you can get this pen anymore because I don't think it's sold anymore. So I think you're gonna have to go with Cipher. But I think it's probably just as good. I don't see why it would be any different. This is the most pricey business card peak, because Mark Chandow's book is gonna cost you about $65 right now. And then the methods, or the materials for Cipher is probably gonna cost you, I don't know, I don't remember exactly how much that goes right now. But yeah, that's another thing. So it's probably the one that costs the most in terms of investment wise, but it's very clean looking. And I don't think it's necessarily any better than any of the other peaks I use, but it definitely is one that I have ready to go in case I want to use it. I just usually keep it just like this, ready to go at any moment. So those are my top 5 business card peaks I wanted to review for you guys today. Again, remember that these are my own preferences. You may have some other ones that you like better. If you guys have any questions or comments about any of these, please feel free to leave me a comment below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys have found this informative today. Thanks so much for always watching my reviews and supporting my channel. I'll see you guys on the next review.